All right, I'm joined now by Jamie Keane, who's the lead multiplayer producer for Battlefield Bad Company. Just give us a bit of a background about the game for people that might not have heard about it before.
So Battlefield obviously is a really strong multiplayer franchise, but with this version we're really trying to add in a strong single player, sort of story-driven single player as well. So you're going to get both sides. You're going to get the really core Battlefield gameplay, you know, lots of vehicles, lots of weapons, and then you're also going to get this story-driven single player on top of that as well. But probably the biggest thing on top of that all is the destruction. It's really something that we've really added in, and it adds this really big new dimension to the game. It really changes things up. We call it tactical destruction because it really does add this new tactical element, particularly in the multiplayer. You know, you really have to think like in 360 degrees. You know, people are going to be coming from all sides, and it really opens it up.
Was the destruction element something that kind of evolved while you were developing the game, or did you say outright we want to do destructibility in this game? That's what's going to be key about it.
It was something that we set that bar from the start. We were like, we want to make this we set off saying we want to make this 100% destructible. We want to make everything blowing up and everything like that. And then as we started to implement it, we started to understand the gameplay implications of it. You know, it's kind of the Pandora's box. You open it up and it's like, oh my god, this is quite a lot more complicated than we thought it was going to be. But no, I mean, we were really pleasantly surprised by the way that it impacts the gameplay and stuff as well. I mean, we really thought that, you know, it really does bring this whole new element to the game. And you kind of go back to playing other Battlefield games and other shooters and stuff, and it's like, oh, I really want to be able to blow through that wall, and you just get really frustrated by it. But no, it's really good. We're really pleased with it.
So obviously there's been a few Battlefield games now. I mean, mainly for the PC. But I mean, how does this game fit into the overall universe? And I mean, it's just completely separate to all the other games that have been developed already.
Yeah, obviously with Bad Company we really wanted to get out on the next-gen titles and out onto the next-gen platforms and really get a good, strong franchise out for our first outing onto them. So again, the gameplay you're going to really recognise, and a lot of the skills that you've developed for the PC titles are going to transfer over. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you recognise in there as well. But again, the single player is going to really set it apart. I mean, we've had single player in Battlefield games before, but it's been much more sort of bot matchy. Whereas this time, you know, we've really gone to town with the characters, really gone to town with the whole feel and the tone of things, and really tried to sort of pull that sort of side of things out.
We can see a bit of the game being played on the screen here. Can you tell us a little bit about this particular map and what we can expect from it in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Harvest Day. This is we have kind of two different types of maps. We've got like more infantry-based maps and then more vehicle-based maps. The infantry tend to be a bit closer in. This is a vehicle-based map. It's kind of a larger setup.
You said that you wanted to create it so it's quite simple to get into at the beginning. You know, when you're setting up your character and choosing what you want to play, what weapons you want to play with and stuff.
Yeah, I mean we've kept the kind of the choices available to the player, but we wanted to try and make that as accessible as possible for people. So, you know, you're going to have all the class-based gameplay that you're used to seeing from other Battlefield titles, but we really tried to pare down the UI so that so that you can see where you're going to be choosing and the weapons that you're going to be choosing, where you're going to spawn in, particularly with the spawning. You know, we've lost the map from the mini-map because, you know, it's much more important about just, you know, one of two choices, so you get straight into the action. You kind of choose to spawn back at the base where you're going to see all your vehicles and all those sorts of things, or you're going to spawn in your squad, which is going to throw you right into the middle of the action, which is, you know, as you can see probably from here, and it does get really intense when you get 24 guys all fighting around that same area. It's a lot of fun.
And that's the maximum number of players in this version for both the 360 and the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, 24 players across both. Yeah.
Okay. We saw before some really cool weapons. You know, can you tell us a little bit about like the Tracer one? You know, where you can get the rockets to trace, and tell us a little bit about how that works.
So there's a lot of weapons in there that kind of they're more for the advanced user, especially like you mentioned the Tracer dart. That's probably our most advanced. You know, that requires some really quite tight coordination. So one guy, you know, who plays specialist class, he's going to shoot the Tracer dart. It's going to tag a vehicle, and then the other guys in his team that are on demolitions class, they can then look through the scope of their rocket launchers and they'll pick it up. And when you get like 2 or 3 guys coordinated doing that, if you're in a tank, just forget it.
Was there anything that stands out from what the community was feeding back to you that really changed what you were thinking about the game?
I think probably the strongest thing was Conquest. You know, we got a lot of feedback saying, oh, we really miss Conquest. You know, we really want to see it in there and stuff.
Which is an old mode from previous Battlefields, and it's going to be developed and released post-release for free, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be free downloadable content afterwards. Once the team have finished developing the game, then we're going to move them over. So we can't commit to any dates right now, but it's going to be free. We're really excited about getting it out there for people. We think it's going to, you know, really reward the people that know the Conquest game mode. For the people that haven't played it before, it's going to be this really good counterpoint for the intensity of Gold Rush. So, and also getting destruction into Conquest, I think that's going to, you know, tick a few boxes for people. It's something that we're really pleased about seeing. It really changes it up again, which is good to see.
So Conquest is quite different to the Gold Rush mode. Just tell us how it works.
So Conquest, it's based on capping flags. Basically, you'll have a selection of flags that spread out across a map, and then basically the team that owns the most number of flags at any given point will win the map.
So just tell us when the game's set for release. Got a firm release date and what platforms we can expect to see it on.
So it's going to be releasing on Xbox 360 and PS3 at the end of June. I think it's like a 27th release in Europe and a 24th release in the US. So we're really looking forward to getting it out there.
All right, great. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for your time.